We are,
Oh wait, is my camera
I think
lens?
so. Yeah.
Wait a minute, let me get this one.
Wipe it down, wipe it down. I had to do the same thing when I came on. I was wiping it, wiping
You
it.
know, that can't be. Yeah, see, that's
We
her
wipe my
blueprint.
mic again
That's a
too.
vast
Hold
improvement. That's my
on.
shape butter. I picked it up with my shape butter thumb. See, that's a vast improvement. All
All
right.
right, y'all. Well, let's get it popping. Let's get it in. I want to welcome everybody to the Black Lesbian Archives Achè panel discussion. This panel discussion, first and foremost, I want everybody, before we do start, I'm gonna do maybe like a 10-second prayer to kind of bring everybody in, just some time to kind of bring it in, because I feel like this is like divinely orchestrated for us to all be here at this time. So if you're here at this time, I want to give a big shout out to you for being here, being present in this space. So I just think collectively, you can close your eyes, open your eyes, whatever it is you feel the need to do. But I just want to take 10 seconds to really kind of bring the space in before we get everything started. So, I want to also bring in our ancestors collectively. I want to bring in nature collectively. I want to bring in the room collectively. So before we get it started, we're going to take a 10-minute breather and then we'll bring it in. So we can go ahead and go. Whew, okay. Oh, man. All right. All right. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. All right. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I got my dragon's blood on deck. You feel me? My dragon's blood is in full effect right now. Yeah, yo. This is the first ever, BLA Black Lesbian Archives virtual exhibit. So once again, shout out to everybody who has supported. It's been amazing hearing y'all's love, y'all's feedback, y'all's love letters. It's definitely been an experience, and I want to, everybody who's actually here, I'm gonna go ahead and send y'all the exhibit link. So if you weren't able to see or haven't been able to see the exhibit, I want everybody to be able to see it. So after the meeting or after this particular panel, I'll send y'all a link so y'all could actually check it out and let me know what you think about it and things like that. Man, I'm like, the energy that I'm feeling right now is like, I can't even explain it. It's just, it just goes beyond the room that I'm in right now. I can't even, like, my body's like, I'm charged right now. I'm charged right now. Just give me a second, y'all.
Take it, honey.
Take your time, Pam. Take your time. Take your time. It's a big old topic.
And there is no time. So
that's right.
There's no time. There's absolutely no time. None.
Okay.
Listen, if you got messages coming through, you can say them too. It's okay. We here. Okay, if that's what you're feeling.
Yeah.
We here for the messages too.
Yeah, I dipped and died and fried myself because I was like, honey, who knows where they're gonna take you?
Yeah, it's one thing that we were talking about too, Pippa, is a wonderful time to be alive right now. It's despite all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world right now, it's an incredible time to be alive. We are in a massive portal between worlds, between each other's worlds, between the dream worlds, between the messengers of the spirits right now. And this energy that I'm feeling is like everything is starting to like the ground, like I feel like my vision is like the ground is shaking, the earth is moving, the waters is like vast, and the hurricanes is like, you know what I mean? Like every element that you could think of is literally just like swarming as we're having this conversation.
Right? Oh, you better know that.
Even if you can't see it on the outside, for real, like seriously, for real. I also want to say, after this meeting or after this particular gathering that we're having right now, I'll definitely suggest that everybody goes and clears their energy, and just, You know what I mean? Take some time to kind of meditate and sit with the information and bring in the information before going out and doing whatever it is that you need to do. Just take some time to like really sit with it. If you need to write, then write. If you need to speak, then speak. If you need to cry, then cry. If you need whatever, turn on some music. If you need to dance, you feel me? Bobby Smurda just got out. You feel me? If y'all need to, you know what I mean? Hit that Bobby real quick. Do what you need to do, but just take this time, take this energy and just let it, allow it to come in and allow it to flow and allow it to sit with you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This exhibit, this overall exhibit is exactly what this panel discussion is. We talk about Achè, we talk about the work of Achè, not only as a publication, but what it did for the entire community on a vast level, you know, worldwide, globally, you know, bringing each other together from different walks of life into one room, into one space. You feel me? So welcome once again. You can check out all the information, blacklesbianarchives.wix.com/info. My name is Crew Make Do. Like I tell everybody every time, let me introduce myself before I move on. My name is Crew Make Do. I'm the founder of the Black Lesbian Archives. We've been kicking this shit over for about damn near 4 years now, since 2017, June of 2017. And this is our, once again, first ever virtual exhibit. So it's the first time we're ever able to bring different worlds in online. So it's like, it's pretty dope. I'll definitely say I would love to be in front of y'all, but it's still pretty dope to get to share this space with y'all. But before we start, I kind of do want to check in with everybody. You don't have to, you know, if you don't want to be on camera, if you don't want to say anything, that's okay. But just for everybody that's in the room, we got 16 people kind of in here. If you want to say what's up, I just want to kind of see how everybody's doing. Anna, how you feeling right now? How are you doing right now? How you living?
Okay, I just got my first vaccine yesterday.
Oh,
Yes. Okay. Well, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming through, Anna. I think it's Ariyama. Ariyama, how you doing, Ariyama?
Oh, you're pretty good. You're pretty close. It's actually Arima. Isn't that something? It's a Trinidadian name that means
Rima.
water. My father gave me that when I was
Your mic is a little low, Mama.
Oh, can you hear me?
Rima.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Arima is a Trinidadian name that
Mm.
means water. It's an actual place in Trinidad. My dad gave me that name. I am a traditional Ifa priest.
Mm-hmm.
So my traditional name is Babayo.
Mm.
So destiny brings me joy.
Mm. Well, welcome to the
Ifa brings
space.
me joy. Thank you.
Beautiful name.
Very beautiful. Chris, what's going on, Chris? How you living?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Yay, Chris.
Hey, Chris. What's up, Eddie? How you living?
I'm all right. I'm here trying to get my vaccine. Congrats to everyone who's gotten theirs already.
Got you.
Or anyone who's made the decision not to, and that's your choice. Congrats either way. But yeah, so happy to be here.
For sure. Nice to
Hi.
see you. Nice to see you. Gio, what's good? What's going on, Gio?
Oh, on mute. I've been doing this since last March, and I still forget to mute myself. Good, y'all. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. It's good to see you, baby.
Good seeing you too.
For sure. In India Thibault, is that, I don't know if I'm saying your name, India, Indeed, at yahoo.com. That's okay. How do you say your name, Mom? Hello?
Hi, sorry, that's just Inday Tibo.
How do you say your name, baby?
Inday Tibo, thanks.
Inday Tibo?
Uh-huh.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming through. Jamila, what's good, Jamila?
Hello.
What's
Happy
good,
to be
Jamila?
Jamila.
How you living,
Hello.
Jamila?
Good, enjoying the sunshine
I love
today.
it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for coming through.
Yes, thank you.
For sure. Jasmine, what's good with you?
I'm good. I'm on 2 different Zooms at once, but I'm good.
It's good to see you, boo. Good to see you.
Like that. Are
Hey.
you cheating on us?
Hey, you showing up. Jasmine showing up, period. You feel me? Appreciate you for coming through. Jorky, what's good? Jorky B. Jorky, you good? No? Justice, you good? What's going on, Justice?
Hey, how's it going? I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. This is such a beautiful space and energy. It's very palpable. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming through, for sure. Stevie or Queen? Stevie and Queen?
Hey y'all, I'm doing good. Basking in the glow of some hard work come to fruition. Always feels good.
Oh,
Definitely.
nice.
Definitely. Love it.
Friday.
Feeling good, feeling great. You feel me? What's up? We in a Sagittarius moon, by the way. I want to let everybody know as we recording this. So just we in the moon of Sagittarius right now. So it's definitely a channel. You feel me? Taylor Amari Little, what's good?
Hi, y'all. Hey.
What's up?
I had to hurry up and put on a hijab because I know we was gonna be on camera. So I was like, let me do this. Let me show my face, I guess. So, but I'm good. I'm based in Detroit. I'm over here stuffing my face with Wendy's. I had to hurry up and hop on this call so I could witness this beauty. So, hey, y'all.
Thank you for coming through, boo. And I think
that's
Lydia. I think that's Lydia, and I think that's it. Lydia and Queen. That's it. We got. What's up, Lydia? You good, Lydia? Okay. I think Queen. You good?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this work done. I got assignments. I'm a college student, so I'm just trying to get these papers done. I'm happy to be in this space.
Got you. My bad. We did talk to you at the beginning. All right, cool. I think we threw everybody. I'm glad. I like to do little check-ins to make sure everybody's good. Now, if it was 100 people, I'm sorry, we probably had to skip the game. But you know, we intimate tonight. You feel me? Yes. So we gonna keep it pushing like that. But once again, welcome. Like I said, we just gonna go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna leave the end also too with questions. So this is, planned for a little bit, about 45 minutes. It might go over. If you have to go, that's, no hard feelings here. I totally understand. But also, if you have questions at the end, we will open it up for questions at the end. So let's go ahead and get it started. Y'all ready? My babies, are y'all ready? Let's do it.
Ready.
Let's welcome it in. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves. I like everybody to do their show introductions. We're going to start off with your name. Of course, you already know the zodiac signs. If you know your big three, go ahead and say your big three. You feel me? Where you located and how you coming, who you coming with, and how you coming and things like that. So I'll go ahead and start off. My name is Crewmate Do. I am a Leo, Virgo, Cusp, Pisces, rising, 5th house, Cancer, Moon. You feel me? Okay. I'm based in. Ooh, where am I based? Wow. I'm based in Georgia at the moment. Hopefully, I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but right now, before I get on the road, I'm in Georgia at the moment, Atlanta, Georgia, almost, but not all the way. And I'm just coming with, good vibes and this energy that I'm in the room with today. So we start off there. And whoever want to go next, we can go there. To my panelists for sure.
Okay, I'll jump in. My name is Pippa. Scorpio, Virgo rising, Moon in Virgo. I'm coming with, I feel like I'm time traveling to have everything and nothing to do with some of this is just really just tripping me out. And thank you for having me. Thank you to all of our ancestors. Thank you to the ground that we all are on. This is not blessings to all of our ancestors. And I'm in Oakland, California.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Ayodele Olofintuade. I'm a writer. I am Omo-Eshu. And when I say I'm Omo-Eshu, I am an Eshu adept. I was adopted into Eshu's family a couple of weeks ago. I am an Oshu Mountie. I love Oya. Oya is actually like my ideal Orisha, but because I've not done my initiation due to the fact that my ancestors haven't decided whether I should go ahead with it or not, I haven't. So I don't know who's going to adopt me yet out of all the Orishas and Irumoles. So I'm still kind of just having fun and just exploring and getting to know these Orishas and Irumoles. That's what I do now. I'm a feminist. I'm lesbian, obviously. I'm a writer. And for the past two years, I've been working on Black feminism, particularly in Yoruba. I'm Yoruba, so I've been doing pre-colonial Black feminisms and researching my ancestors. And so my next body of work is coming out. It's going to be about Black Yoruba lesbians who love to take off the heads of men. Thank you very much.
Love it.
I absolutely love that. Oh man, alafia bendiciones. So my name is Aurelis, and I can type it in the chat if it might be difficult for some of you, including our host and moderator.
No, it's not. I'm gonna get it. I gotta keep practicing it, boo.
It's okay. It's fine. So my name is Aurelis. I use she, they, them pronouns, and I'm been an initiate of Achè Yoruba. I'm from, I don't know, 3 years, almost 3 years now. I've been, what I would say my spiritual journey started about maybe 12 years ago. And I've been walking this path or learning about the Orisha tradition for about maybe 10. And so I'm also a scholar practitioner, what people will call a scholar practitioner, which means that, you know, aside from being an initiate, you also study the practice in probably like in academia. You don't always have to be in academia, but usually, so right now I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Michigan, where my dissertation work is on the experiences of queer and trans practitioners of Achè Yoruba, specifically in the Caribbean, particularly in Puerto Rico, where I am located right now. I'm Afro-Dominican. I'm from the Bronx originally. And I think that's about it. So Maferefun Chango, Maferefun Ego, Maferefun all of our ancestors. And I have here the candle already set. We have light in progress for all of our collective ancestors who are present at this time. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be, in conversation, to break bread with all of you. So blessings.
Most def. Thank you. Well, I welcome y'all beautiful souls into the room. I want to go ahead and open this up to talk about the background and the history of Aché, opening up with Pippa Fleming, which is actually one of the co-founders of Aché. And talking about that, Pippa, but also how did you come up with the name Aché, and not just the name in itself, but everything that you went through to get to the Aché, you know what I mean? So I kind of want to open the space up for that as well.
Let me speak quickly. So I come from a very Christian, devout, religious background. I come from ministers on both sides of the family, theologians, academicians in theology. So I grew up in a very, I would say, Christian positive household. And my family was a little freaky for coming from that generation of Christians in the 40s and 50s. They were very progressive. And that those teachings carried on from my mother, who was very progressive. So I grew up in a Protestant Congregationalist church. We were the only Black family who integrated this church, I think, 1968 in Springfield, Massachusetts. But what was odd was when you're a child, you're protected from many things.
1 second, I'm gonna mute everybody, and then unmute yourself, and then you could continue. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, you gotta unmute yourself first, and then you go ahead. There you go.
I'm sorry for that. So the soil that I was birthed in was a very progressive spiritual soil. I would say, Mom, who's God? She'd say, go outside, look at a tree. She would also say that no one becomes, there is no, I grew up with that no one comes between you and your God concept, that you have a relationship with God, that the Bible was man's story of God. They were just stories for you to check in theologically, because my family they were theologians. That was kind of their approach to the academic part of that. But the spiritual part was go outside, drink some water, go fishing. That's God, you are God. So one thing led to another. There's a publication called Lesbian Connection where I met Toby Corey who she's also a writer. She published a book, I feel like in 2005, Pathway to the Light of Orisha. And I met her through Lesbian Connection, and she was one of the few lesbians listed where you could call and say, hey, I'm moving to town or I'm traveling through. Long story short, my partner and I moved from Massachusetts, Northampton, lesbian, woo-woo. It's a really powerful battleground, feminist ground in the 80s. Whenever we moved to the Bay, I connect with Toby. She is a student of Louisa Tisch. At the time that I meet her, I gradually just start connecting. Now, there are no accidents. So I started formally being introduced to the practice in 1988. And then I was baptized in the faith in 89. During my Saturn return. Well, I was just recently baptized in the Iyami in my second Saturn return. So I've always been in some sort of spiritual journey. I've always been exploring. So at the time of Achè, I am a Nubian karmically drawn to this African tradition that is ancestral, spiritual. I'm meeting people, I'm involved in things. So nothing to me is separate. They're all my parallel lives. So at the time that my spiritual involvement is going, my artistic life is going, as well as my life as a writer. So as I'm thinking about the work and the impact that I want to have as a writer, a person, because I have my own production company, Lisbeth and I would brainstorm, well, what do we want this to be? And so things that were important to me was that there was a spiritual connection to Africa. And Yoruba is a very specific tradition. Africa is a huge continent. Yoruba is just a tiny little piece, even in Nigeria. There's so many spiritual practices. So let's debunk all that. And so there's a reason why I was drawn to this tradition. So I brought that in my spiritual practice to all aspects of my life. It's in my art, it's in my music, it's in my dance, it's in my speech. So it's an integral part of my life. So when Lisbeth and I were brainstorming on names and all the titles, and I was like, what about this Achè thing? It is a force, and we're both sci-fi freaks. And I was like, yeah, it's like the force. It's a force that you can use, and it's your Achè. You can take that force and good, bad. It's a force, and it means many things. And the thing I also feel I should fight with people is that the Yoruba are a people. So often people just try to separate the practice from they're a people. Yoruba are people. So for me, at the time, I was dating a Yoruba woman, and I had moved to London. That's when I moved to England. And so my whole life was just one big embodiment of my practice, my belief, and Achè just seemed to fit it. And we would joke, they're gonna call it Aché magazine. People, and of course you would. Of course, if I looked at it, I'd call it Aché with that accent on it. We did research on the different spell, whatever. So that's why I got the name and the intention behind it. And the main, our intention was also, it was by Black lesbians for the benefit of all Black women. It's even written in the dang magazine, but Oh, we're not on CBS or anything.
Hey, don't you ain't gotta hold nothing back here. You feel me? We
So
all
I'm gonna stop it there.
You
I'm
good?
gonna stop it there.
I got you. I got you. I got you. So for everybody else just coming in, or for my panelists, I guess, you know, spiritually, what was like your family like? You know, like what was growing up spiritually like? What was your base into what it is now? You know, and finding your own personal Achè as well.
Mm-hmm. Me? All right.
Oh, no, the rest of the
okay, cool. I was like, don't ask me again.
No. Go ahead, John.
Ayodele, do you want to answer first, or should I go? That's okay, got you. Oh, we love Zoom. So yeah, you know, so my background is slightly different. First of all, I went to Hampshire College, so I do have to say that. So I know Northampton, I know Amherst really well. There's a whole lot of lesbians over there for sure. We love it. We love to see it. So I have to say that for me, so I am a first generation, you know, child of immigrants, you know, from Dominican Republic. And so my background is Catholic. But my background is Catholic, and I want to say background, I want to say also culturally Catholic, right? Because there is a difference. And I think that as someone, you know, who's in religious studies, I always, you know, I think it's an important distinction to make, because for me, like growing up Catholic, you know, I wasn't really expected to always go to church. I wasn't always expected um, to be an altar server, which means, not to assume everyone knows what that means, is basically when you assist the priest in mass, right? I went above and beyond and did that for several years because I'm just a spiritual person, right? Like as a medium, right? I just feel energy, and I have been through the phase of being Catholic. I've been through the phase of also, you know, attending on my own a Christian church, a Baptist church. So I think for me, you could put me anywhere in my young teenage years, and I was just like, I'll fit in because I just want to feel the energy. Like I know that there's energy, and I know that there's faith, right? And what we consider faith, right? Faith can be many different things depending on the, you know, the particular spiritual practice that we are speaking of. But for me personally, faith meant in the sense of like that deep feeling that you feel, what you were feeling, crew, right, in the beginning of this conversation of feeling everybody coming through, is that feeling to me, and that is powerful. That is electric. That to me is a natural way of experiencing Achè, right? And so I had to, I think, really come into fruition with one. I always joke about this. I feel like I came out 3 times to my family. So I came out. We all gonna have a laugh at this. There's a lot of queer people in this panel, but you know, I came out first. I came out into what I would call into my Blackness as a Caribbean, you know, child of the Caribbean, Black woman from DR, right? Like I came out Black, like I really affirmed my Blackness, right? And I think it's important, especially within the Spanish Caribbean. It's not the same as the US. Racial concept does not apply the same. And I think that's important. It's not that Dominicans don't want to be Black, is that we have been conditioned for several centuries, right, to disassociate ourselves from Blackness because it is associated, right? It is conditioned to poverty, to, I mean, anti-Black, so like several different things that I don't have to go into right now, but I think it's important to say that for all my Dominicans out there who do know they're Black, you know what I mean? Like people don't really, you know what I mean? Like I think it's important. But anyways, I think for me personally, I came out Black. Then after that, I came out as a well, I mean, spiritual practitioner of, you know, Ochaifa or Santeria as is known in the Caribbean. And then I came out as queer, right? As a lesbian. And so I think that all of these things contributed to my spiritual journey, right? Like they were all phases. And I think we all have, you know, everyone's spiritual journey is different. And I think for me personally, it was about finding, I kept just looking. I just kept looking. And I felt like as much as I would feel like the Holy Spirit in a Christian church, I was like, yeah, this is cool and all respect, you know what I mean? But I was like, but there's something still that it's not fed here. It's just not being fed. You know what I mean? And that is what I was like, I need this to be fed because I'm going to keep looking until I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn naturally, right? So I'm like, I'm finna feed this, whatever this is. I'm about to find out what it is. I'm determined to find out what it is, right? And I think my journey was more not only about going through a self-discovery and trying to understand deeply who I am as a person, especially at such a young age, 17, not, 17, 18, like really trying to figure out who I was. Like, we know damn well, you don't figure out who the fuck you are excuse my French, but you do not figure out who you are at 17. Like, we know that's, there is a journey. There are phases that you go through, and those phases continuously inform you about who you are. And not only when you inform yourself about who you are, you inform yourself about who your ancestors are. And I think in this journey, you can't be full on in this journey and feed everything they need to feed if you're not feeding your ancestors, if you're not beginning with your first line of defense, which is your ancestors, right? And so I think for me, I had to start there first. I had to start with my ancestors as I was learning about the Orisha tradition, right? Which I grew up in New York City. I grew up in the Bronx. Santeria, botanicas, they were everywhere. It never was a secret to me. It never was, I will wake up to coconuts underneath my bed. I knew what was up. I didn't know the name. I didn't have the language, but I knew that there was something that was going on, and that it was good. It was for protection, right? My mother wouldn't do anything that wouldn't be for my own protection, right? Wouldn't be for my own good. So I knew that there were things there, but we just wouldn't talk about it. We were just like, no, we Catholic. You know what I mean? And that was it, right? And so I think part of what's important in my spiritual journey is I think understanding all that comes with, right? That something doesn't have to beat the other. It can all coexist, just like Mother Nature does. You know what I mean? And I think for me, growing up Catholic and at the same time, to a certain extent, embracing some kind of Christianity in the beginning when I was trying to figure myself out, and then going into now being a full-on initiated priestess, I felt like all of that is valid, right? None of it was more important than the other. It led me to where I am today, right? So I think that's where, in terms of my roots and in terms of my traditions, that's like all that I bring with me.
Well said. It's just so, you can tell the moon's in Sag.
You could
flowing like butter.
That was really amazing. That's an amazing story. I come from a line of really powerful women. I knew my great grandmother, I knew my great grandmother, I knew my grandmother, so these women were like people that shaped my life earlier in my life. I grew up in a household of women. They taught me how to jump fences, how to go to parties that you're not supposed to go to. They taught me how to be me, stubborn, free, and then, but I've always been like attracted to the spiritual part of me, like in our family compound in Abeokuta, we have issue is our like, I don't want to call issue, I don't want to call them our patron saints, but it's the closest like issue is our Orisha, my family. So I mean, like, she was just there, and you just go there and people just put, you always constantly find issue oil, always have palm oil. So it's just there, you never thought it's something special or something you have to discover. Then I joined the church, and I was in church for 10 years, and I kept asking the same questions. Where am I in the Bible? Who are my ancestors in the Bible? What position is a Black woman like me? What position do I hold in this Bible, in this truth you keep telling me is the truth? And I couldn't find answers. And I couldn't ask my mom because my mom is a professed atheist, who's also a Muslim and a Christian, and goes to a cousin to do Orisha, and and consult Ifa. And like, I just see my mom as this very, very like, she's not a kind of person you can sit down and like talk to about things about spirituality, because she really doesn't get it. She just thinks whatever works, let it just work. If it doesn't work, I mean, even the Yoruba have a saying, "Orisha bo le gbe mi, se mi bo se ba mi." That means, look, if this particular Orisha, if I ask you for something, I don't give it to me, fuck off, kind of, basically. So that's what my mom. So when maybe she goes to the mosque and she prays and now it doesn't work, she'll go to church and pray, and that doesn't work, she'll go to, until she gets what she wants. So my coming to Orisha actually was I can't call it by accident because nothing is by accident. I met a girl in a Facebook group, and we're talking about lesbianism, and this girl came and said, "Oh no, you can't because you Nigeria is a very very homophobic country, and they have like laws backing these things. You can't have a gathering of lesbians, for example. The police has the right to burst your gathering and arrest everybody." So I was on Facebook talking about being a lesbian and being a woman and living in Nigeria. And this girl came and people were attacking me. And this girl came and said, "Why would you do that?" And it turns out that she's an Olorisha. And I was like drawn to her. And then gradually, because I'm very, very like, I don't like just bringing people into my life, into my space, into my energy, because everything around me is carefully curated. Everything around me, the energies around me is so important for me to thrive and to live in the ease that I've chosen for my life, to live in ease and to be, to be at peace. So gradually we drew closer to each other, and then we started talking about the Orisha and the Rumoles. And it turns out that she's an Yellow Orisha. She's not just an adept and initiate. She's actually like one of the like biggest. She's like in Nigeria. She's like one of the biggest Orisha priestesses. Her name is Omito Nade, and I mean she's doing a lot of work. She's a very young person and she's doing so much and so well. But when I began to go for the events that happened in the Orisha community in Ibadan, I discovered that there's a lot of homophobia in it, which was like what drew me, like got me cut short. And that was when I had to go back to the beginning. And I went back and I started talking to my great grandmother, who I was very, very close to when I was younger. And she answered, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, so it's that easy. I can just call you and answer. And you're doing it all right. Even like you do anything I want, anything I know. Okay, I want this." And then she'll do it. I want that. And then she'll do it. And then she'll ask me for things to do. And I'll say, okay. I mean, it's a fair bargain. You want me to do this for you? I'll do this for you. Yeah, I don't have any problem. And then I started talking to my grandmother too. And I've been talking to all these women in my life, and they've been so great and they've been so gracious. And they're actually my lead-in to spirituality, because I really don't believe in that word because it's been used by so many people for so many things, but that's not my business anyway. So like they are my lead into time. I call it deep time within time that is not time, because there's actually no time. Because in Yoruba, like in the practice, in my own practice, I believe that the present is the past and is the future. That people are trees. We are standing at a spot, and time and events come and meet us. That is why whatever time you wake up is your morning. So, so like my practice became deeper over time, and I was able to claim spaces for queer persons in Ibadan, in Ibadan's the spiritual community in Ibadan, and we are owning our spaces and pushing back, because we know these things. We know that Shango was non-binary. We know that Orunmila was a gay man. We know all these things. We know that Oya and Oshu, we know these things. Don't come at me with your homophobia. Go away.
Yada, 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 yada.
Oh my goodness. Listen.
Yes, indeed. I love it. I love it. Oh man, I love it.
Oh, okay. Now my ego is like, okay, lock down.
No,
let's go.
I love it.
To like control myself, because I'm going like
you ain't gotta be control here. Hell no.
You know what I mean? Have to. I don't want to like. I don't want to go into that zone. I'm trying to like be calm and no, they are not doing that to me. I'm going to.
We know very well that the ancestors are also speaking through us.
Definitely.
You're gonna know that.
It's also
You're
speaking.
like, this is our chance, guys. Let's go.
They're like, all right, so we all here. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
This is.
So with that, especially at a time where we've had this idea of shutdown, 2020 for all of us, I feel like was a collective, like ancestry was like, and sit the fuck down. You know what I mean? Everybody, you get a seat, you get a seat, you get a seat, you get a seat, sit down. So we can talk to you, so we can connect back with you. So we can, one thing that I've been hearing between like really through my dreams and just downloads that I've been having is remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are over and over and over and over again. And I think right now we're in a place of uncovering and pulling things up at the roots. You know what I mean? Really pulling those things out, because we've been kind of brainwashed into this idea of we're just black people here living in this experience as people on this plane in this material based world. But I'm like, we're more than just the color of our skin. We have to go back to what we've come from past lives and generational cycles and generational curses that go way beyond this present life that we've been ordained and destined to be here right now. So I say that to say, what was it like for y'all to find that Achè? You know what I mean? It's one thing from when you were at birth, to have that kind of like opening or self-discovery of self and like, okay, I'm kind of uncovering these things. This is my family dynamic. This is who I've been. This is my people, my tribe, my village. But when you really came into that energy, and I know life, you still kind of go through these journeys. We all kind of go through these journeys of self-discovery. But when you finally recognize like you were more than just this vessel and it was more than just you, and you had other people that were working in favor with you, other energies and ancestors that were working in favor with you to protect you, to guide you, to send you, what was that experience like? Describe that, describe what that feeling was like to come into power, to come into that Achè and just be like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, what, you know what I mean? So I kind of want to talk about that. Like, what was that like for y'all?
Oh, excuse me.
You want to go, Pippa? Okay.
I tend to jump out first because I'm really shy and want to get shit over with and just listen. So
what? Pippa, don't even
strategy.
Don't even.
So I'm pulled. I'm so pulled to. So if someone, I don't mind giving up the floor, but
please.
So you're born with your Achè. I was born. I chose to come, and so the more you get into you can do, like, if I were to take Ifa and Yoruba theology and explain it in layman's terms, you're already born with that. What we have to talk about is, I love what you're saying about, we're stripped from that. It's been watered down, stripped, the slave trade, our own internal struggles that we go through within our families and traditions. This is ancient wisdom and knowledge. So you're born this way. For me, I came into my Achè, and particularly dealing with my current Odus. It's like, well, you've always been doing, I've always been doing this. It's a journey, like you say, it's a journey. And so your life is a journey. I don't look at it as one moment that came down, because I look at my Christian, I look at my spiritual, it's a journey. So first and foremost, it's a journey. And there's different times that my consciousness is quantum leaps, things are connected, yada, yada. Since receiving my crown for my mothers, my awareness is really changing, versus when I was baptized in the tradition at age 27, 26, baby dyke, and they told me, well, you're not going to heaven because you look like a man and you're a lesbian. And lesbian, so like you're battling all of that, But the Achè, the power of Achè is, it's your Achè. Can't nobody fuck with that. It's your birthright. It's your essence. Nobody can take your Achè. No one can do that anyway. But if we're speaking about the tradition, it's mine. I came with this. So what I want to see for us is that we never have to lose, as Black women around this freaking globe, that we never have to lose our Achè. Why do you lose your Achè? What are the things that interrupt that sphere, that process? We're Africans, okay? So slavery, colonization, moving around, and it's like, I love how you just, let's upgrade this conversation. And anyway, I'm done.
I got you, Pippa. Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Okay, so I get what you're saying. The first, I'm going to like buttress Pippa's point by using a word "eniyan." Eniyan in Yoruba is a human being, and when you try to translate it into English, I always say English is a very, very disrespectful language, and it shrinks us into a box. But the closest I can get to eniyan in English is they who were chosen. Because Yoruba they don't see one person as he or she. You are always they.
Yep.
And then when I invite you into my life and I allow you in, I can allow you to call me you. But if I don't want you close to me, you are forced to call me they, them. So eniyan means they who have been chosen. Eniyan means they who have been chosen. And yes, we came with our Achè. We came with it. It's ours. Nobody can ever take that from you. It's not left to you to enter into it or to be scared by it, which we're taught by religion. We were taught religion in Africa, in Nigeria, particularly in Ibadan. Like it's all hellfire and white-bearded gods with swords of flame, like killing people. So like, but I'd like to like share an experience with you. Maybe that'll make some sense. So usually I don't go to Oshogbo festival on the day of the festivities, because I mean that's for show, that's for tourism. Okay, I think I've been locked off. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm back now. So that's for like tourism. I like going like the following day when everybody has left, but the energies are still, the collective energies are still there, because it's so important to have that collective energy when you're celebrating, and when you're, I hate using this word, when you're celebrating, when you're celebrating your rishas. And so I went on the following day, and I went with the names of the people that asked for my prayers on my lips, and I was mentioning their names, and I walked towards the river and I was mentioning their names, because when I got to the gate of Oshun, I made preparation, and I made offerings for these names that said to me, Ayodele, please pray for me when you go to Oshun. And I did, and I walked towards the river and I was saying, thank you. I asked for this and this was done, because Oshun is the healer. Oshun is a doctor, and Oshun actually like healed my son when it was an emergency. I nearly lost his life. I mean, it was Oshun that did it, because it was Oshun I called on, and I mean, came back from a place that I thought it was lost. Anyway, so I was saying thank you, and thank you for all these people, because that's all you have to do with the ancestors. You don't have to demand things for them. You don't have to yell at them. You don't have to ask them. They give you, because they want you to live a life of ease and luxury and enjoyment. They want you to be happy. I don't know about sadness and loss. There's that too, because it's all part of being human. But they want you to have joy. That's what I was looking for. English is such a stupid language. They want you to have joy, like always have that peace, that hope, and always free of anxiety. Anyway, I entered the water, I sat down in the water, and I put my feet in the water. I am like this. I am listening and I'm quiet. And Onshu talked to me, and she said that I should give her the names that I came with. And I gave her the names one after the other. And Onshu returned to me the names of my own ancestors. She named my grandmother, she named my great-grandmother, she named all the ancestors and she told me that is the only thing you need to carry in your body because they are your DNA. You are them, they are you. That's why you are they. That's why you are in your, because you are chosen. You have been chosen. So you like, so that experience, no, I want to tell you what happened afterwards. I didn't want to come out of the water. I wanted to take off my clothes and take a dip in the rushing waters of Oshun. And I like started taking off my clothes because I was feeling so powerful. At that point, I could have walked through the bloody Red Sea and I would have split it into 10. And I wanted to enter into the water and just, I was tripping, and the Babalawo that went to me had to grab me, and I had the strength of 200 men, and I fought with him, and he came for me, and I fought them off, and I said, no, you don't come for me, I'm going inside the river. And okay, so a car drove us into the grove, and I started trekking, and I was trekking, and I was trekking, and they were chasing after me. I wasn't running, I was just walking. That was like the most powerful I've ever felt in my entire life. That was the moment I realized, oh, fucking powerful I am.
I'm just loving all of this, yo. Just like feed me, just feed me. Feed me.
A true story of possession by Orisha. A more like real story of possession by Orisha.
I find that so powerful. I think that for me,
could you bring me some?
That was fantastic. Thank you both of you for sharing so much. I find that for me, like Aché as a life force, right? Aché as the power to make things happen. Like if you were to Google it, right, it'll probably come up like that, right? For me personally, the way that I have felt, the way that I have experienced Aché, I think we're in Ayodele, what you were saying about in terms of when you have felt the most powerful, for me was in my initiation as a daughter of Shango, right? Kabiosile. And I think that that to me is, I think that we all are born, and and we have experts who can talk about that, but I think we're all born with our ori, right? We are born with this innate power, right? And we are always guided by our ancestors, right? So we are already, even before we were born, we are already powerful, right? And yes, intersectional oppressions definitely condition us to believe that we're not, right? To make us believe that we're not, right? There's a lot of energy. If you really think about it, there's a lot of energy, a lot of effort put into us trying not to believe who the fuck we are and where we come from, right? And I think that that is what's so powerful about each of our journeys, because we are all trying to figure out how powerful we really are, right? How and once I think that once when we do find that, for me personally, I felt that, I had to do a lot of studying, right? So Ayodele is speaking from a, from place of, coming from Nigeria in that sense, right? For me, like coming from the diaspora, especially coming from the Caribbean diaspora, it hit different, right? Like my experience was more of like, again, coming into fruition with everything that has been my childhood, right? That has been my upbringing, right? And really trying to understand what is true for me, what stands true to me. And I think that, as a priestess of Shango, Omo Shango, I felt that it was very important. The moment that I really felt Ashe was when I was crowned. And that language that we use in the spiritual practice is that process of initiation where, I can't really say too much about that part, but is that process of initiation.
And I didn't ask. I already knew not to ask. I was like,
that process of initiation that is so sacred and so powerful that, yes, we're all born powerful. And for me personally, when I really felt that level of power, not only was it when I received the Achè of Shango, when I received that power, when I was born out of Batala. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that my godparent is Omo Batala, child of Obatala, consecrated Obatala, right? And then that person being my godparent, then and me then being in that consecration ceremony, then I was born out of Batala and I'm a child of Chango, right? I am absolutely full on Chango. My mother's Oshun, my father Oshun. And so I feel like for me personally, having that balance of energies, everything is about energy. And I say this to people all the time. I was like, we can work on terms, we can try to figure out terms, we can try to like figure out language, but ultimately, among all differences, it's a matter of energy. It comes down to energy. It comes down to that thing that you feel down your back all of a sudden. You're like, "Ooh, what was that?" It's that, right? And I think for me personally, in my own experience, where I really felt the most powerful was in the moment that not only I consecrated with the Achè of Shango, right? But also once then I started to be mounted by Shango. And that's a whole other experience. I mean, that is a whole experience. You really feel, I mean, I had my godmother be like, I really felt like you had the power of 200 men speaking of, right? And I think that, you know, in that sense of like, it really is about that kind of power, and it's about being so connected with nature, right? Because orishas are elements of nature, right? The fact that Ayodele wanted to just jump into the river deep down and be like, fuck everybody, bye. That is the power of Oshun, right? That is the power that Oshun has. That's the power. Oshun is like, you my daughter, come through. What you doing up there? Right. And I think, and it has happened to me several times where I'm going to the river looking all cute, thinking I'm just gonna leave an offering. All of a sudden, I'm halfway in there. And I'm like, how did I end up here? I didn't come with a bathing suit. She don't care. And I think that's important, right? I think that it's important for us not only to be, you know, to talk about terms, right? We are all born gifted and powerful, right? But I think that when you really come face to face with what it means, right, to feel that Achè and to feel that kind of power is dangerous because it's powerful. And that's the thing. We can be here and be talking about and it's beautiful. But I think that the other side of it is that it's so powerful that it's dangerous, right? It is serious. It is the tool to dismantle all types of oppression. I myself, as a Black Dominican woman in academia, have used it several times against academia. You understand what I'm saying? And so I think I think it's important to also think about this in terms of like just us standing here today and claiming that kind of power and claiming the kind of Achè is already a level of resistance that they don't even want us to tap into.
Right.
And I think that, you know, I think it's just layered. It's multi-layered. But for me personally, I think that, you know, as someone, you know, being fully, you know, initiated, being a priestess of Shango, like man, it's everything. I'm hot. Like I'm hot right now talking about it. Like I'm hot. And for those of you who understand Shango, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying
all the fire.
Wait,
you know what I'm saying? Like I turn on the AC. I forgot the whip. I don't know what else to do.
we seem like we can, when you said you received Shango and, you know, Shango, I said, so in other words, your nuts dropped.
Listen,
your nuts dropped.
Straight up.
So, you know, I just think that it's just important to also, you know, speak of not only the power, but speak of like how potent, you know what I'm saying? How much of a threat it is, you know, which is why it's even more important for us, especially with all the intersectional identities that we hold, right? The reason why I personally feel like it's so important for me to focus on queer and trans practitioners of the Orisha tradition is because I'm like, if it ain't because of us, it just ain't it. You know what I'm saying? We are at the core. We are at the core.
Be honest. Oh, excuse me.
You don't get Orisha who are androgynous or non-binary, or you know, we put in all these terms. In reality, they're like, I just am. But in our dimension, right? Language is important, right? In terms of like terms are important in that way. But our ancestors, anybody, they're like, we just are. Y'all better deal with y'all little binary bullshit. We just are. Right. And I think that's important when we are talking about these practices, because it's like, this is beyond any of that, you know?
Yes. I will often say to people, look, it's beyond your pay grade. No need to even fuss over it. I often, sorry. Your comment just sparked feelings that So I know I'm not the monitor of this conversation. So crew, you know
No,
how I can get. So you better monitor me.
Go ahead. Go ahead, do your thing. Like, this is open. I forgot to say it at the beginning, but I do these things like we sitting in a living room, sitting on a couch, smoking a blunt. Like, and if you don't smoke, smoke. But you know what I mean? Like, it's really chilled over here. You know what I mean? So it's just,
I'm drinking water.
Feel free to say what you got to say, but no, I definitely agree. I do feel like there is, especially, with, not gonna go too deep into astrology, but for those of y'all know, as we move into this Aquarius energy, this age of Aquarius, Saturn, Jupiter, Aquarius energy, we are reconnecting back the ascendant master, you know what I mean, to the upper echelon, to the council, so it is that power when you realize who initially the fuck you are. And what you do with that power and what you choose to do with that power is really on you and up to you. Nobody can make that decision for you. But once you get there, once you realize and see yourself and face yourself, not anybody else, but once you face yourself and intrinsically take that energy in, there's nothing that they could possibly do to stop, what's already been done. You feel me? So I do want to open this up to well, first of all, did y'all want to leave us with anything? Because I'm about to open it up. And also to say thank y'all, too. Thank all of y'all. Y'all's energy is amazing, electrifying, on fire right now.
Maybe I want to say, this is the first time in my life as a 57-year-old butch, female identified lesbian in the tradition. I consider myself a bit of an academician in the tradition. I've been in this is the first time I've ever been able to even address this subject matter, ever. As this is the first time I'm being seen like this. So when people say, it's been my hugest battle within the Ifa Yoruba tradition, is battling homophobia, my gender nonconformity. I've had literally receiving my opwede and my mother, literally people would not crown me because, and I'm like, you're going against your own fucking tradition because Odu says I am a male and a female, and that's fucking you up. But that's our people. So to deal with the homophobia on the mat, to deal with, my Odu is the needle that carries the thread, okay? So I came to this thing with a mission, okay? To reinvigorate that power, that unimaginable power when you embrace the divine masculine. First of all, this is cosmic. This is shit far beyond the average citizen's pay grade. So I often have found that I can't even explain the mission I'm on, the body I occupy. And I'm so glad I've never had this experience. Do you know how many people have kicked me out of their house, said they wouldn't crown me because I won't wear a dress? I look better than the best dressed priest in the room because I came to Gucci down, and you were intimidated by the fact that I actually am the embodiment of the most ancient Odu that you are hiding from women, and we're here. That's why Orisha has us, and that's why the moon's in Sag.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you. You don't even know. You don't even know.
But that's
a little anecdote. I just would like share a little anecdote. About 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine, she's a born again Christian, and she had a birthday party. As soon as I entered with a very good friend of mine, as soon as she is female and identifying, she's masculine of center, she's just an amazing human being, and she's so different, and she embraces a difference. Of course, I've always been a wild person. So we entered this Christian place, and the first thing that happened was like the speakers blew, and somebody just said, "Awayetiwole," which means the world has entered this place. For a second, it set me back because it was said in such a sneering, condescending tone. I was like, what? And then I realized that, yes, I am Awaye. Yes, I am chosen by Iyami. Yes, I am chosen by the earth herself, who is Aye. I am. And if my presence blows up your bloody speaker, then it has blown. Go and handle your shit. And don't put it on me. It's because I'm in the presence of people with the potential of owning their powers, because the room was full of women. And I said, you people are so like resisting your true selves that my energy or our combined energies coming in here blew up the speaker. You know, and when people say, I don't want to give you your crown because of anything, I tell them I don't need your crown. Sorry, I'm swearing my head right now. Like, I don't need it. I don't need you to crown me, because it's so important that we know our places. And that's the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to talk about how important Ori is. And I think Aurelis mentioned it. I hope I got your name right. Aurelis, right?
Aurelis.
Aurelis.
It's okay.
No, I have to get the name right, because I don't like people calling mispronouncing my name.
Aurelis.
Aurelis.
Yep.
Aurelis. Okay. Like Aurelis mentioned earlier, it's so important. Ori is so important. Ori is like, it's not just your physical head, it is your head, like everything. I mean, I take out time to like touch my head. It's so bloody like sensuous, and at the same time, it's so amazing. I mean, when I take care of my hair and I tell my head how fantastic she is and how beautiful she is, and I look at myself in the mirror every morning, because I got a mirror. And there was a time that I was so scared that I was staring at myself in the mirror. I was meditating. I was looking in the mirror, and I started saying something else. And those kind of powers, the first thing that comes to me is fear, because it's so massive. Because with power comes a lot of responsibilities and a lot of caring and a lot of giving and a lot of so it's scary for me. My first response has always been fear, but I'm getting better now. I'm no longer afraid of myself, because it is me. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was seeing a version of myself that is higher than the person I was at that point in time. And this is a journey, it's a lifelong journey. And it doesn't even end after your body goes, it still continues, because there's so many worlds, so many experiences, so many ways, like pathways on the sides, you know, up, down. It's just such an amazing universe that is scary. And yeah,
so you saw your higher self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
The next version of me. Yeah. Yeah. And it was scary, because it came with a lot of darkness. And we have been taught to be afraid of darkness and of the dark, which is the darkness of our skin. Look at my skin. I am copper. I'm the night.
Beautiful.
I mean, I am like, so I have to embrace my darkness. I have to embrace who I am, my head. And it is a scary thing. And I just want to say, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And when I go into a room, and they will know I have been there, they know I am there, and if everybody else pales in comparison, I'm sorry, but I am in the presence of the most powerful women I've ever like encountered, because like Pippa said, this is the first time that I've been in a room with lesbians who are the other person that I've talked to like this is Ife Franklin. She's American, she's an artist. She was supposed to be here. I forgot to send her the link. I'm such a terrible.
We love you though. You feel me?
Yeah. So Ife is such a powerful woman, masculine of center too. And I mean, I see all this power, and I'm right now, I'm not going to lie, I'm afraid of what we are going to do, because word came out in 2019 during, you know, in Ife, every day is dedicated to one Orisha. And during one of those days, they predicted coronavirus, and they predicted how it's going to change the world. And we're not seeing the beginning of these things, and we're going to just sit back and relax, because That's what the ancestors want. They want you to be enjoying yourself while they do all the work. All they need is your permission they need is your permission. You permit yourself to go into this space that they are so eager, so willing to let you occupy.
I want to open up shit. I want to open up because we are running on that hour. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask the panelists? Anything that you want to leave us with before we kind of conclude it? I want to thank y'all, first and foremost, you know, for coming to this space, blessing this space, being present in this space. Y'all's energy is like, I can feel y'all, and I'm not even sitting in the same room with y'all. It's powerful. Listen,
the beginning.
Like it just, my body once again, like it's just like ruminating. So I do. If y'all want to unmute yourselves, anybody, y'all could go out. It's no direct order, nothing like that. Just go ahead and shoot for sure. The recording also too. I want to let y'all know. Okay, so we got questions about social media. Where can we find y'all on social media? We'll do that towards go ahead and say where y'all can find on social media if you do, or how to contact you. Also the recording will be dropped after the exhibit is over, which is March 28th. So you will be able to access this recording after the exhibit is over. Just make sure you stay today with BLA, and we'll be actually making a post about this being dropped as well. So yeah, if y'all want to go ahead and put y'all's like contact links or how to find you, I know, Pippa. Any kind of contact links that you have to find you. But if y'all just want to, besides the chat, if y'all want to just open up with questions, and then we'll kind of conclude around 5:30. So we'll take a couple questions. Does anybody have any questions? I see Queen's hand was up, but go ahead, y'all.
I had a comment. I had a comment because y'all touched on a lot, and I'm just so appreciative to be in this space. The phrase "I am" is so powerful. And it reminded me, and we're going back to the Bible for a second, in Exodus, right? Where Moses is like, so who should I tell the Israelites who sent me? And God was like, I am. Tell them I am sent you. And I don't know if it was a way for God to kind of evade the question, but kind of looking at it can be anything, like this infinite possibility. Like I am, and then when you start off with yourself saying that I am powerful, I am strong, I am love, like you begin to embody all these traits. And with the phrase, you know, in terms of using they, it reminded me in Genesis, specifically, I believe it was chapter 5, of where it says Adam was they, in the generations of Adam, and how a lot of this is interconnected, and how we all have this duality that we're able to tap into. So I am is, it just is, it is what it is. It's more than.
Right.
Most definitely. Thank you for that, for sure. There's also another question here. It says, any advice for people who may not know many of their ancestors? And anybody can take that. That was a question that was dropped. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you, baby.
Okay, I'd like to take that question because it's the easiest thing. You are your ancestors. They are your DNA. You are like you are your ancestors. You don't have to like know them physically before you can reach out to them. Trust me, just sit down and talk to yourself and say to your ancestors that are inside of you, look, your DNA, that's all. Like your DNA comes from a whole lot of people. You're not just here because you a random accident you were made and there's nothing on this earth that was not made from this earth, or that is not part of the air or water there's nothing, no science, no chemicals, nothing that hasn't been made for something that is in the earth or above it or in it. So you are your ancestors, and you can reach out to yourself because, sorry, can reach out to yourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I feel like for me, so our ancestors are also our teachers, right? The way that I have come to understand is that um, indigenous African practices, like central role that I think is important is that your elders are essential to learning, to understanding. Remember that this before was an oral tradition, right? And so you couldn't really just go ahead and Google something. And even if you Google something, it's not always going to be accurate. So I don't necessarily recommend that as a way of necessarily, learning. But I do think that it is important to understand that I feel like your elders, along with your ancestors, your egun, are your teachers. And not only are they your teachers, not only are they your first line of defense, as I mentioned earlier, it is also a reciprocal relationship. And what I mean by that is that they like their sweet coffee. They like that little cake you eating. They like that glass of water you drinking, right? It's okay. And I know some people are laughing because who do ancestor work, they're like, yep. And so I think it's important. Like that nice whiskey you drinking, why you pouring some to me? That's them, right? And I think that it's important. And when I think when I say this is it's not only just to be funny, but it's true, they're really funny. Our ancestors are really funny. I think that when we are, it's safe to connect with your ancestors because you're connecting to yourself, you're connecting with your lineage, right? And you can't go wrong with that. It's and what I mean is safe is, look, this candle that I just lit for the event, I'm going ahead and I'm going to go to my altar room. Yes, I have an old full room of altars. I'm going to go to my altar room and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in front of all of my ancestors. Why? Because they have given me the opportunity and the blessing to be in conversation with all of you today, right? And so as they have given me the opportunity, I go ahead and I give them light and progress at the same time, right? And that's what I mean about the reciprocity of the relationship. This isn't a capitalist relationship, right? This ain't any of that, right? There are things that may be capitalist in the sense of like you might want to buy them this, you want to buy them that, but everything that you give is coming from here, right? When you connect with your higher self, you're connecting with your ancestors. When you doubt yourself, you are doubting your ancestors, right? And I think that these things are important. So when it comes to connecting, just to answer that question specifically, I recommend putting a glass of water. Water is powerful. Water is so powerful. Listen, I can go ahead and speak and I'm speaking to my ancestors. I'm connecting with my ancestors. I'm connecting with all types of entities when you're speaking into water, right? Back in the day when people wanted to do some ratchet shit, you didn't need anything else. You needed a glass of water. Yes. And best believe that person you didn't like is gonna stop bothering you. Okay. So I'm gonna keep it nice though. What I'm trying to say is I think it's important. I think it's important for us to give to our ancestors as much as we expect for them to have our backs, right? It is reciprocal. So I put a glass of water, I put coffee, like in a clean area, usually a corner is best. I think we can all agree with that, right? A corner, sometimes a kitchen, if you can do it in the kitchen, if you have a place, because the kitchen is a place of love and gathering, right? And if I think about all the powerful women in my life, in my lineage, who have transitioned, right? They all love being in the kitchen, not only because gender roles are a thing, but because they were able to really plan against people in the kitchen. They were able to like create love in the kitchen, create that resistance in the kitchen, right? And so there's a lot of energy in the kitchen, right? People, even if there's a big living room, people still gather up in the kitchen, right? And I think that's across cultures. So wherever you see fit, build this altar. You can have a glass of water, you can have a little bit of rum, you can have sweet coffee, sweet black coffee, for instance. You can smoke some cigar. Blow some tobacco is really powerful. Not only is it used for cleansing, but ancestrally, at least I'll speak from my sense in terms of the Caribbean and enslavement, tobacco was one of the most important things that my ancestors used against enslavement, against any kind of oppressive energy and force that was trying to keep them against each other, right? They cleanse themselves with tobacco. They offer it to their ancestors as well. They offer it to Orisha even. And so that's another thing. It's also indigenous, right? Not everyone is meant to work with sage. Everybody out here trying to work with sage. Not everyone's supposed to work with sage, right? Not everyone's like, people out here like Palo Santo. I'm like, do you even know what Palo Santo is, child? Like, and not everyone
comes from, baby.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that you are actually hurting the earth by using it all the time. Like, there are things that are important for us to also understand, that everything is interconnected, right? Like we, you know, Queen was just saying, everything is interconnected, but it's so deeply rooted in all of nature. So whatever you do when you are giving to your ancestors, make sure that you're actually in fruition. Even when we go to the river, for instance, we give an offering to Oshun. I mean, we've had a movement for quite a few years now where in terms of like practitioners, at least in the US, where they make sure that they're not taking plastic to offer something to Oshun, right? They make sure that it's stuff that won't hurt the river, right? And so that won't pollute the river, right? And so I think that it's important that when we have a responsibility to our ancestors, and we have a responsibility to all of our surroundings, right? So that's just one way you can connect with your ancestors.
May I answer that question as well?
Go ahead.
We have time for me to answer that question?
Oh yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
The longer I'm in it, the simpler it gets. And I think particularly with religious or spiritual practice or traditional practices, we often wait for people to give us permission to connect to God, or, oh God, I haven't received my crown, so I can't go talk to Oshun, or I didn't get this. And no, that's all for you. All that Orisha shit and crowning and shit, that's for you. That's for the human to connect. It's so far above our pay grade. And I call it practical magic. What do you want to do when you want to focus on anything? You have to be still. You have to be quiet. So even if it's 5 minutes, some people only have 5 minutes. Some people don't have a kitchen where they can put their things. Ancestor Orisha knows what situation you're in. Trust me, they got people working for them. They know what time it is in your life. They know where you're at. They know what's going on. So they're not going to expect a Mercedes when you got a freaking Toyota. Yes. They know your trajectory. So what I often tell people, it's just practical magic. Who cares if it's a park bench? Who cares if it's in the bathroom? Let them know. The veil, there is no veil. They're waiting on, like you said, they're waiting on you to go to them. It is two-way. It's like if you go to a restaurant, you just stand at the fucking counter.
All right.
I call it practical magic. And expect people to fulfill your needs and know what you want to eat. So it's practical magic. Go to the river, take a walk, take a bath, breathe. Water is the most powerful conduit there is. Only Tutu, it's the most powerful conduit there is. We live on a water planet, okay? So don't overthink it. Don't judge yourself. They're waiting for you. And this is what I had to tell myself, because you're talking to a Butch identified Scorpio. I have the key code to hell, okay? And so one of the promises I made Orisha and the Iyamis, I said, look, when I begin this study, look, I promise that I'm gonna hand my life over to you and see if there's a difference. That's all I said. I'm gonna see if walking and doing ritual and participating and getting outside, I'm gonna change my mentality. I'm going to tap in. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna live that life. Is there a difference? Hell motherfucking yeah, because I'm sitting here talking to y'all. We all look fine as hell. And this has been ordained, the Odu for the year. This is destiny right here. This is amazing, just amazing things. And the mothers, the Iyami Orisha, are sick of the humans. They're sick of it. And so it's time for us advanced beings who have these practices. We are the conduits, and that's why we're queer, trans. Sweetie, we're blowing them. It's far beyond what humans can. What do you mean queer? I'm stardust in a human body. That's all I got to say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. We're gonna wrap it up, y'all. If y'all do have any questions, all those contacts is dropped in the info box. You know what I mean? We got a damn thank y'all so much. You feel me? Yeah, if y'all, let me see. Hold on, let me click this off here. My bad. yeah, go ahead and connect with each other, y'all. This is what this is for. I don't want y'all to think that we just come into panel discussions just to talk and rap and we never seeing each other again. I would love to have a part.
To see us have a queer conference. I would love to see us have a spiritual. We need that, and they want that.
Dope.
They want that.
Yeah, I think that would be super.
When? Tell me when.
I'll let you know.
I'm thinking that literally, Ego, I've been wanting this my whole life. So
Let's
do it. The nipples are hard. There's like shipping.
Necessary. It's absolutely necessary.
Definitely.
Absolutely necessary.
Definitely.
It's gonna happen.
I'm definitely down to make that happen for sure. And I'm so glad that y'all appreciate the space. Like I said, drop y'all links, connect with each other, talk to each other. You know what I mean? Such an honor to listen to this conversation. I appreciate y'all. You know, I appreciate all y'all for coming through, to my panelists. You know what I mean? Individually, I mean, y'all are just rock stars. You already know what it is over here.
I'm honored beyond belief.
No, for real. I'm honored for y'all to be able to come to this space once again and bless this space. I do think we need to have more conversations around this. So y'all will probably be hearing from me soon. I'm gonna just let y'all know that y'all probably.
Marisha wants it. Our ancestors want it.
Definitely, for sure. Like I said, connect with each other. I would like.
Did my email show up, crew?
Yeah,
Did my email
yeah, all the emails and social media links and stuff like that is in the chat. I also have a once this downloads and stuff like that, it saves the chat. So I'll actually be able to connect. We'll be able to connect together. So once we have the second conversation, y'all will get information about this as well. The second conversation that we have. But I appreciate y'all for coming through once again. This is another, drop for the Black Lesbian Archives Achè virtual exhibit. This has been amazing. It says, feeling more hopeful as a queer and non-binary person, figuring out my path. Thank you. Yeah, y'all. Is there anything else y'all want to leave us with? We're going to go ahead and conclude it. And make sure y'all check that out. And y'all can subscribe also to the website for the upcoming. But we will definitely have a part 2 of this.
I'm proud of BLA. I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Can I just say, go back to Black Lesbian Archives IG and look at the other events that they're having. They have events happening the rest of the month as well, like dope events. So please.
Oh, right on.
The next event we're gonna be having is with Dagmar Schultz and Brianna Jones. Actually, go check Brianna Jones out. I just got the book in the mail. It is Mouths of Rain, a Black Lesbian anthology. Just got the book in the mail. Listen. The T.
I love that title.
The T. Listen, the T. Go check it out. Mouths of Rain, Brianna Jones. We actually posted it on the IG page too, so you can see it there.
Title.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's juicy, y'all. It's juicy, and it's not just for Black lesbians. It's for everybody. You know what I mean? So definitely go get it. Get a copy if you can. It just dropped, so definitely.
I just have one thing I feel is very important.
Yes.
It doesn't, we are Black, we are ancient.
Yes.
We come from philosophies and things that are far beyond the average consciousness, and we're in a time cycle to get that back. Yes. So let's get whatever you want to call it, and let's embrace ourselves as women. We cannot be afraid to love who we are and to honor our beauty.
And as people, right? Beyond women, as a people, right?
Yeah.
Like, we are magical beings. We are magical beings as who we are, no matter what intersectional oppressions want to tell us, right? And I think that, more than anything.
Definitely.
Anyway, thank you all. It's been an honor. It's been a blessing, for real.
Oh, definitely. No, I appreciate Friday. Like I said, go check out the upcoming Dagmar Schultz, the producer, and then Brianna, the Berlin years. 1989 through early 90s. I can't think of it right now, but we'll be talking about that, and then we'll be doing a panel discussion the next day with Dagmar Schultz after we do the actual film screening. And then we have a grassroots archivist workshops that I'll be hosting on March 28th.
Excellent.
If we have any other if we have any other events, it will definitely be on the upcoming, but just make sure y'all stay tuned, and we'll see y'all soon for sure.
Thank you. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. May the force be with all of you.
Most def. All right.
Thank you.